I have no idea how this video is gonna turn out once it's done, because apart from the meal prep I did yesterday, I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I went to the store without a list, which usually I never do, and everything is just a bit all over the place right now. So welcome back. I'm just gonna show you some of the meals and snacks I'll be cooking this week. And on Sunday I'm actually running the last half marathon of the year, so I'm gonna show you how I prepare for that. I once again did my meal prep on Sunday, and this time I made kind of a cashew roasted shallot and garlic dressing or marinade that can be used for pasta and all kinds of things, honestly. And then I also baked some more bread. I am clearly obsessed with baking at the moment. This time I baked it in a loaf pan just to make the slicing a bit easier. Some salads and breakfasts for Monday and Tuesday. Kind of a smaller meal prep, but I didn't have that much time, and I also still have some stuff in the freezer from last week. I am gonna get about 2 hours of work in, and then for dinner I am once again gonna cook out of this book. What's it called? Coconut curried lentil dal is so good. I have made this 3 times in the past 2 weeks, and I'm gonna make it again because it is very easy. And I also just make like a big batch of this, so I have leftovers. That is gonna be the rest of the day pretty much. Absolutely deleted. I went to the store on the way back from uni yesterday. Like I said, whenever I go to the store without a list, like I did on Monday, it's just very chaotic. I get the most random. So let me show you what I got. Some bananas, which I always like to eat before the race. Some Brussels sprouts, those were reduced, 99 cents for this entire bag. Some soy sauce, this is the one that I usually get because this is the only like larger bottle that they sell. And I go through this so quickly. Chocolate, hazelnut, nougat, this is the stuff that I like to drizzle on my porridge sometimes. Cannellini beans and canned diced tomatoes. Cumin and fennel seeds. These are probably my most used spices at the moment. And then, wheat flour and whole wheat rye flour. The rye flour is the one that I use for my sourdough starter to feed it. And this one I'm going to use for a cake that I want to make at some point next week. And lastly, I don't think I need to comment on this. I'm going to put those things away and then I'm going to go on the last run before the race. I'm probably just going to do a 10k or something, kind of depending on how I'm feeling, maybe a bit less. There's no work that needs to be done at this point, so. The weather is pretty bad, to be honest, and it's supposed to be pretty bad all weekend. Sunday is supposed to be 6 degrees and raining. Not sure how I feel about that. Let's get this run done. I have made some sweet and sour tofu for lunch. This recipe is one of my all-time favorites, mostly because it is so easy to make. I start with the usual crispy tofu and then also fry up some bell pepper, ginger and garlic until slightly soft before adding the sweet and sour sauce, and let the tofu soak up that sauce for a few minutes until thickened and flavorful. I have some rice with it and some parsley on top, obviously. Editing this first part of the video made me realize that I really did not film a lot this week. I don't even know why specifically, but it had just been a weird week for some reason. But now it was Saturday, the day before the race, and in terms of food, I like to focus on higher carb meals in preparation for a half marathon. A proper carb load, like you would do for a longer distance, isn't needed here, but just increasing the amount of carbs is already very helpful to have loads of energy on race day. And I also had a glass of beet juice, which sounds super weird, but it actually has a lot of benefits for runners. It is packed with nitrates that increase the amount of nitric oxide in the blood, which in turn improves the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the muscles. And what this essentially means is that drinking beet juice can make running feel a bit easier and help you go for longer at a certain pace without getting tired. For lunch, I then made another old favorite recipe of mine, some sesame and ginger chickpeas. These chickpeas are just fried with sesame oil, soy sauce, rice vinegar, some grated ginger and lots of black pepper until they're nice and crispy. Served with rice and some fresh veggies, and I also added parsley on top. I followed lunch with another bowl of cornflakes before taking some time in the afternoon to prep for the upcoming day. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you my prep for tomorrow. So these are the shoes I will be running in. They are the Asics Mega Blast. I actually only got these like a month ago, but I didn't have shoes that were like proper race shoes. So the ones that I had before that and that I use for like everyday running are these ones. They're the Asics Nova Blast 5. I really like both of these shoes. These ones are a lot more expensive, so they're definitely like a race shoe or for like interval training or like special runs, I suppose. And these ones are more for like everyday use. However, I do want to mention this is not supposed to be a guide on what shoe to buy. That is so individual for your running style, so please do a running analysis if you're planning on buying a pair of running shoes. In terms of fuel, I'm going to take these Dextro Energy Squares. There's 6 of these, and I'm going to take I'm going to take 2 every 30 minutes or so, like roughly every 6 kilometers. I need to pack some stuff in my bag that I can give to my parents, but other than that, I'm pretty set up for the race. That's pretty much it for today. I only need to eat some dinner and then I'm gonna go to bed early. I have taken a shower, I've relaxed for a bit, and now we can talk about the race. My goal was a sub 1:45 because I ran 1:46 something in my last half marathon. That was in May, I believe, or maybe June. So I wanted to beat that time. And today I ran a 1:43 and a few seconds, and I am very, very happy with that result, obviously, especially in these conditions. It didn't end up raining, luckily, but the wind was so bad, especially for the first like 5k and then during some parts later in the race as well. So I'm very happy that I didn't lose too much time because of that, and I'm just very happy now, to be honest. I'm just gonna chill out for the rest of the afternoon. I'm currently watching a field hockey live stream. And then tonight, my family and I have a table at one of my favorite pizza spots in the city. And I am very excited because I am really craving a pizza right now.
Platz vor dem Wohnhaus mit einem Wendehammer am Ende.
Nein. Okay, I've decided to film for another week because I simply didn't have enough footage to fill an entire video. So welcome back to another week of cooking. Because I never film everything I cook, the amount of footage I get changes so much. And last week I simply did not film very much because I was quite busy, and it was also just a bit of a weird week, to be honest. This week I'm taking a break from running though, so I'll definitely have more time to share some recipes. So for dinner tonight I'm gonna keep it very simple and make some pasta. But first I'll be roasting up the sprouts that I got on Friday, because roasted Brussels sprouts are so good. And they're a great thing to prep because they do go with a lot of different meals. Okay, I have all of my sprouts here, just cut in half. I'm gonna add some olive oil, some smoked paprika, just a bit. Good amount of salt. Sprouts definitely need a lot of salt. And some pepper. Oops. So So I'm gonna roast these for about 20 to 25 minutes at 190 Celsius, maybe 200. They're definitely gonna be crispy after baking. To make the pasta sauce, if you can even call it that, I add some chili crisp to a small pan on low heat. Well, you're supposed to do low heat. I did in fact not. And then add fennel seeds and cumin. Let the spices get fragrant for just a minute before adding a spoonful of tahini, immediately followed by some pasta water, which will form a creamy sauce. I let this thicken up just slightly before adding in some chickpeas, those delicious roasted sprouts, some cooked pasta, fresh parsley and a squeeze of lime. This combination of chili crisp and tahini is so good and one of my go-to pasta sauces when I need something that's quick and easy, and adding spices like fennel seeds that go well with the sprouts just makes the pasta even better. For the next few days, I was once again focusing on quick and simple meals. I made porridge with my favorite applesauce, finished the banana bread from my last video. It's still not great, but at least it's finished now. And had tofu stir fry with dukkha and tahini, rice and vegetables for lunch a couple of times. For the tofu, I fry the tofu with cornstarch and dukkha and then deglaze with soy sauce. I don't even know why I felt so weird for these 2 weeks. It's not like anything bad had happened, except the current state of the world, obviously. But I was just quite unmotivated to do a lot of things that I usually would do as a habit, like keeping my apartment clean and doing laundry and things like that. I suppose the stress and effort I had with training for the half marathon on top of uni and work made me a bit burnt out. And even though the meals I was cooking here weren't super hearty, they feel comforting because they feel so familiar, I guess. Anyways, on Thursday, I felt a lot better and decided to make a stuffed flatbread. Good afternoon. I'm going to be making a tempeh stuffed flatbread. We're going to crumble the tempeh and spice it up quite a bit and then also make a yogurt sauce. So, of course, we need some tempeh. You can obviously also use tofu if you have that on hand. Okay, let's spice it up. We've got garam masala, cumin, cayenne, paprika, coriander, salt and pepper. I'm actually going to toss this together before adding the oil, just to make sure everything's coated, because with tempeh sometimes the oil tends to stick everywhere and then you can't get the spices coated evenly. So I'm just going to toss it together and then I'm going to add some oil. I'm using sunflower oil, which is just neutral. You can also use olive oil if you want. Let's get this in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes until the tempeh is nice and crispy and the veggies are golden and soft. For the dressing, I've combined some soy yogurt, lemon zest, lemon juice, parsley and salt. Okay, I'm going to spread a bit of the sauce on top. Add a handful of cabbage salad, but this is definitely optional. You can just use any fresh ingredients you have, like cucumber or maybe some pickled onions. Let's do a bit more sauce. That looks absolutely amazing and I am so hungry. Could also do like a tahini sauce on top, that would be nice. Yeah, a bit of tahini on top. Yes, it's so good now. The tahini makes it so much better because you have that like fatty creaminess that you just can't get from the yogurt, because the yogurt is creamy but it's not fatty. So I definitely recommend adding tahini as well.
Gerade so raus aus Berlin. Wir verlassen Berlin und sind dann schon da.
Dann so ein Publikum Packungen geredet und sowas. Das ist ja ganz witzig immer. Dann die zweiten waren aber... Was ja auch schon super. Ja. Kommt halt immer ein bisschen so... I'm gonna do 2 hours of work. I'm gonna set a timer because otherwise I just won't get anything done. And I'm very unmotivated today. So this way is the only way to finish up my work. But then it's the weekend. I'm having bread with almond butter. I just got it done. Okay, moving on to lunch. I wanted something on the fresh side, and I had recently had this idea for a Szechuan pepper cucumber salad, which is similar to the flavors of the Szechuan pepper tofu stir fry that I love to make. So I got a bunch of mini cucumbers cut up into thin slices, added these into a large bowl, and then grated in some fresh garlic. For the marinade, I of course needed some Szechuan peppercorns, which I ground up roughly using my mortar and pestle before adding these to the cucumbers as well, along with some chili flakes, 5-spice powder, soy sauce, rice vinegar, and a bit of salt. I mixed this all together until well combined and left it to rest and marinate for about 10 minutes. And for serving, I had some cooked quinoa, sesame tofu, and fresh parsley with it, and drizzled some extra marinade all over to add extra flavor. I made kind of like a bean and roasted red pepper stew. This recipe is from Sarah Brown on Instagram, and I had just been craving it ever since I saw it, and this night seemed like the perfect night to make it. It comes together in only one pot, and since the peppers are already roasted, it only needs to simmer for a few minutes before serving. I had some yogurt on top for creaminess, more of the homemade sourdough on the side, and it was the perfect meal after a stressful day, just what I needed to get the weekend started. I am gonna head over to my friend's house because today is actually Halloween, which I don't celebrate. I've never celebrated because my parents think Halloween is dumb, so we never did it. But my friend is having kind of like a get-together. It's not a party or anything, it's just like card game night type thing. So she's having a bunch of friends over and asked everyone to bring something. This is what I made. These are some apple, cinnamon, and banana chocolate filled pastries, I suppose. This is what they look like. They're coated in cinnamon sugar and there's apple on the inside, well, at least for this one. These ones are filled with banana slices and chocolate chips. I've already tried both of them and I do prefer the apple, but that's just because I would prefer apple over banana any day. So the recipes for those are actually going to be in a project that I'm currently working on. I'm probably going to talk more about that next week. Don't quote me on that, but hopefully next week. I still have some work to do, but hopefully it's going to be done by next week. So I'm going to pack these and then head over to my friend's house.
Bei irgendjemand. Er hat eine doppelte... Den bestimmen wir ja mal.
What a day. I got back quite late from the Halloween party yesterday, so I also woke up very late today, at least late for my standards, which then meant I had to rearrange my entire day, and that definitely didn't help with feeling stressed about everything at the moment. But this afternoon I had a great time at my friend's house. She showed me her new place and we had some tea, we had some cake. I want to wrap up the filming now and get this video scheduled. Thank you for watching, have a great week ahead, and I will see you soon.